Imagine this. It is past midnight. You are deep inside a Canadian wilderness, buried in a snowstorm that has swallowed every road, every landmark, every sign of civilization. Your truck is parked between two walls of black pine trees. The heater is humming. You are alone. Then, footsteps. Deliberate. Getting closer. And when you finally see their faces through the headlights, rotting, bloodless, lifeless, the last thing you see before you slam the accelerator is a child raising his hand and waving goodbye. This is Daniel's story, and it happened on a real highway. If you have ever been alone somewhere you shouldn't be, somewhere the dark pressed too close, then you already know that cold, electric fear Daniel felt that night. Subscribe right now because we bring you the stories that get under your skin and stay there. Hit like, drop a comment if you've ever experienced something you can't explain, and buckle in. This one will not let you go. Daniel was not a man built for offices or routines. Born in Europe, transplanted to the vast, unforgiving expanse of Canada, he had found his calling behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler. To most people, long-haul trucking is a job. To Daniel, it was a way of life, a kind of freedom that only makes sense when you're rolling through a landscape so enormous it makes you feel both insignificant and invincible at the same time.
He had been doing this for years. He had driven through Rocky Mountain passes and summer hailstorms. He had navigated ice roads in the dead of January. He had seen moose materialize on the highway at 80 kilometers per hour. He was experienced. He was careful. He was not the kind of man who spooked easily. But that night, that particular winter night, something was waiting for him that no amount of experience could have prepared for him. He had picked up his rig that afternoon as usual, truck connected to two heavy trailers, a long route stretching ahead, day and night driving in the forecast. As he left the city, the skyline dissolved in his mirrors, and the landscape transformed. Buildings gave way to fields, fields gave way to forest, and forest gave way to something older and darker and deeply, profoundly quiet. The snow had started lightly. By the time Daniel was deep into the remote stretch of highway. It was a full whiteout. Visibility was dropping to almost nothing. The temperature outside hovered far below freezing, the kind of cold that doesn't just bite, it devours. Other truckers would have pulled into one of the highway motels, those sparse, neon-lit outposts of civilization that appear every 50 miles like lifeboats on a frozen sea. Daniel wasn't wired that way. He preferred peace. He preferred quiet. He preferred to park somewhere secluded, cook his own food, and rest on his own terms. He pulled his rig off the highway and into a clearing at the edge of a dense forest. Trees loomed on every side, heavy with snow. No other vehicles, no lights, no signs of human life for miles in any direction. Just Daniel, his truck, and the storm. He covered the windshield and the side windows with thick curtains, a habit both for warmth and privacy. With those sheets in place, the outside world ceased to exist. He was in his own sealed bubble, warm, dim, self-contained. He heated up instant noodles on his small camp stove, ate in silence, turned off the overhead light, and settled into his bunk. He does not know how long he had been lying there when he heard it. Footsteps. Soft at first, the kind of sound your brain tries to rationalize away. Snow settling, a branch falling, an animal. He lay perfectly still and listened. And the footsteps continued. Slow, methodical, coming closer. Daniel's heart spiked.
His chest tightened. He did not move. He did not breathe. He told himself, "It's nothing. Animals don't walk like that. Animals don't walk in a straight line toward a truck. Animals don't stop."
But these footsteps stopped. They stopped right next to the driver's door. The silence that followed was worse than the sound. Daniel pressed himself deeper into his bunk, his whole body taut with a single desperate instinct. Don't let them know you're here. For 15, maybe 20 minutes, there was nothing. Just silence and the wind and the drum of Daniel's own pulse. Then, the door lock moved. Not loudly, not violently. It was a gentle, exploratory pressure, the kind that says, "I know this can be opened." The driver's side door handle rattled softly. Tested. Released. Then the passenger side. Tested. Released. Think about what Daniel knew at that moment. He was in the middle of a blizzard. The temperature outside was lethal. No sane, healthy person wanders a forest in those conditions. No sane, healthy person stands beside a truck in the dark for 20 minutes and then quietly checks the locks. So who or what was outside?
After a second's silence, the footsteps returned. But now there were more. Daniel counted the sounds, 3 sets, and then voices, low, sibilant whispers in a language he couldn't identify. A man's voice, a woman's, and the small, high pitch of a child. Carefully, desperately, he lifted the corner of the curtain and pressed his eye to the gap. Nothing there. The moment his eye met the gap in the curtain, the whispering stopped. Instantly, completely, as if cut with scissors. Daniel knew with total clarity that he had to leave. Right now. He tore the curtains down, jammed his key into the ignition, and cranked the engine. The headlights blazed on, cutting through the storm. And there, in the middle distance, he saw them. 3 figures, standing completely still. A woman, a small child between them. The truck was stuck, the wheel spun uselessly in the packed snow, and the 3 figures, slowly, unhurriedly, began to walk toward him. As the headlights washed over their faces, Daniel saw what they were. Rotting. Their skin had the gray-green texture of something left too long in the cold. Not just frozen, but decomposed. Their eyes were open and fixed and empty. Their mouths hung slack. They walked without urgency, without expression, without any sign that the blizzard around them meant anything at all. The truck lurched free. Daniel does not remember making the decision. His foot hit the accelerator before his brain caught up with his body. The rig tore out of the clearing, swinging onto the highway, and he drove, hard and fast and without looking back. But in the side mirror, just before they vanished into the dark behind him, the child raised one small hand and waved.
Daniel believed it was over. It wasn't. A few miles down the road, the truck hit a sheet of black ice and skidded hard into a snowbank. The engine died. He was stranded in the dark in the middle of nowhere, with no choice but to go back on foot. He radioed his control room using the onboard walkie-talkie. They patched through directions to a nearby repair workshop, but it required a trek back through the forest, through the same stretch of trees where those 3 figures had appeared. Daniel stepped out of the cab into air so cold it hurt to breathe. The snow had stopped. The forest was completely silent under a heavy sky. He pulled out his flashlight and started walking. He had not gone far when he saw them. In the snow ahead, 3 sets of footprints, small, even, deliberate, heading in exactly the direction the workshop directions were guiding him. He almost turned back, but there was nowhere else to go.
The footprints led him to a structure he would not have found otherwise, deep in the trees, barely visible even with a flashlight. A house, old and collapsed inward on itself, its wood blackened and rotted, its windows long since empty. A vintage ruin from another era, swallowed by the forest. He should have kept walking. Instead, drawn by something that defied all logic, he pushed the door open and stepped inside.
A fire was burning in the hearth, not smoldering, not dying, burning, as if it had just been lit, as if someone had just been sitting beside it. But the house was empty. No furniture, no supplies, no evidence of recent habitation. Just the fire, the dark, and the ruin. A dog began barking outside. Daniel's training took over. He moved to the storage room at the back of the house and pressed himself behind an old door, holding his breath. He heard footsteps on the porch. The front door swung open. They came in. The same family. The woman, the child. They moved through the house slowly, not searching visually, but sensing. Their heads tilted, their nostrils flared, their unblinking eyes swept the room. They knew something was there. They could feel it. The child turned toward the storage room. Step by step, the child walked closer. A small figure, gray and hollow-eyed, moving through the firelight with eerie, measured patience. Daniel did not wait to see what happened next. He turned, smashed his elbow through the single small window behind him, knocked out the remaining glass, and threw himself through the opening into the snow. He ran through the dark forest, through the snow, through the trees, without looking back until the lights of the workshop finally appeared ahead of him, orange and warm and real. At the workshop, the locals who helped Daniel were not surprised when he told them what he'd seen. Their expressions shifted, not to disbelief, but to something quieter, heavier. "That house," one of them said. "Everyone around here knows about it." The story went back to 1915. A family had lived in that house, a man, his wife, their young child. One winter, robbers had come. They were after money, valuables, whatever the family had. They didn't leave witnesses. The family was murdered in that house, all three of them, on a night, people said, that looked exactly like this one. For over a century, travelers on that stretch of highway have reported the same thing. 3 figures in the snow. A woman, a child. They don't scream. They don't chase. They don't attack. They only appear, standing in the cold, as if waiting. Some believe they are trapped, bound to the place where their lives were stolen, doomed to wander the snow-covered roads, looking for something no living person can give them. Others say they appear to warn travelers away from danger, that their presence on the road is not a threat, that it is a cry for help. Daniel says he escaped that night. His truck was repaired. He drove on. He made it home. But he told us this: "I can forgive what I saw in those headlights. I can even make peace with the faces. What I cannot shake, what I will carry for the rest of my life, is that child's hand, rising slowly. A goodbye from someone who has been saying goodbye for over 100 years. Some roads, it seems, remember their dead, and sometimes on the worst nights, the dead remember us back." If this story stayed with you, if you felt that cold creep up your spine, then you already know what this channel is about. Leave a comment right now. Have you ever experienced something you simply could not explain? We read every single one. Like this video so more people find it, subscribe so you never miss a story, and share it with someone you trust, preferably not right before they drive through a blizzard. Daniel has one more story for us. He was trapped alone in a forest for 48 hours.
Whatever found him there made that night in the blizzard look like nothing. Stay with us.